Welcome to part 3 of the Tesla of Health, and in this video we are going to discuss the dark secret of pioneer capital. Let's recap. In the last 2 videos we have heard about the amazing Tesla story and the unbelievable, incredible victory for transformation and pioneering progress that Tesla represents. Tesla literally changed the world in ways we can't even still imagine while we are seeing it. From transforming the automotive industry into the age of electrification, electric vehicles, into the age of full self-driving that is happening end of 2024 and in 2025 and 6, where the entire world will be transformed into a world of self-driving robo-taxis and cybercabs that brings down the price of transportation tremendously and levels up the value of the Tesla fleet and the future Tesla cybercab fleet by unbelievable amounts of money. And then finally, of course, initiate the takeover of human labor and the replacement of annoying human labor, annoying for the humans who have to do the labor, with Optimus humanoid robots. I will do another video why Tesla effectively will have a monopoly on humanoid robots, which most people completely don't get right now. But that is crazy. It basically unlocks a $1.5 trillion market cap potential with EVs. It then invented a new market of full self-driving that is a $15 trillion market cap potential into an uncapped, starting with $30 trillion of human labor replacement market, all because of one company and Elon Musk pushing that forward in the most visionary sense ever. And we found that it's actually not smart to just say Elon is a magic alien who does all these things. We actually figured out the 3 secrets behind Elon's success. And these 3 secrets are a master plan that is first principle based, simple and true, a community, a Tesla community that comes to the defense of this master plan and defends it against FUD and all kinds of problems. The Wall Street analysts, the mainstream media, all these fake news outlets that basically want to destroy innovation. And this Tesla community proved to be so powerful as early customers, as investors, but also in the media and YouTube, that they're incredibly important for the success of Tesla. And then, of course, the third pillar we are talking about in this video, pioneer capital, and the fact that there was one pioneer who invested in Tesla before it was public, who happened to be Elon Musk. Now, what we are going to discuss now, after we learned more about the master plan of health and the master plan to end death in the previous video, now we have the master plan. How do we solve the other 2 problems? And we will start with pioneer capital as a problem. And we will start with the question, what is even the problem? Isn't pioneer capital a solved problem? Don't we live in a so-called capitalist system where a lot of people have an interest investing in disruptive innovation because they can make, so much money? Tesla made 34,000% gain since IPO. Isn't that attractive? And don't we have a whole class of people called the venture capitalists who are tasked with, finding disruptive innovators and funding them? So people think, well, what's the problem? We have so many VC funds. Why don't you just go to them and present the master plan to transition into a future where we don't die anymore? They would make trillions and tens of trillions of dollars. Should be easy, right? No, it's not going to be easy. And here is why. Let's jump into the dark, dark secret of pioneer capital. And I hit you right out of the gate with a inconvenient truth. Venture capitalists do not fund disruptive innovation. Venture capitalists are institutional investors. They're not people. A venture capital fund is an institution. Sure, there are working people in that institution. I will get to this in a second. But the VCs have limited partners. These limited partners are money managers or even corporations sometimes. And they are deeply captive to institutional interests. And the mission of a venture capitalist is not to maximize profits. It is to protect the current state of profits by not engaging in disruptive innovation. All money managers in the world have the mission to manage money. How do you manage money? By not cutting off and disrupting the source of profits of the people who gave you the money. Venture capitalists are interested in innovation as long as it's not too big. It needs to be tiny and incremental. Otherwise, you don't qualify. In fact, every VC fund has extensive safety mechanisms in place to prevent them from ever investing into something that is true disruptive. If you have a startup like Tesla, where you can make 34,000% gains after IPO, you're automatically out of the equation. You will never get funding. It's a giant threat to everything institutional money managers stand for. That is also the explanation why VCs, if you follow the investments venture capital funds make, venture capital gets systematically deployed into dumb stuff, into incremental innovation or innovation that can never work. And a lot of people in VC, and the managers in VC, they're not dumb people, they're smart cookies. So this is by default, by design. And in fact, it gets systematically prevented. Venture capital gets systematically prevented into getting anything that's actually big that can work. You can have big ambitions as long as your stuff doesn't work, right? In our space, for example, Grail is a great example. There was this company that claimed they have a liquid biopsy that can detect all cancers early stage with a blood sample, which is obviously not true for many reasons. To detect all cancers, you need all precision medicine modalities, not just a single blood test. And, blood tests play a role, but only a little piece. So that company was always flawed, and they claimed they could get Medicare reimbursement, all kinds of stuff that was, obviously false, right? You don't need to be Einstein to understand that this can never happen. So they got $2 billion in funding. And it was like, everyone was wondering. I know so many people who wondered, like, how is this even a thing? How did this happen? And I always bring this example in healthcare. If you want $30 million for a mental health app for moms over 50, for example, you will get the money. Sure. No one will ever ask the question, does it make any sense? How many moms over 50 do you have? Do they really have that many mental health problems? Even if they do, what are the current solutions? Why do they need an app? How do you make the $30 million back? What's your freaking plan? But no problem, you can raise the money. If you say I need $30 million for deploying a global genomics infrastructure that adds billions to hospital budgets and saves and brings life-saving genomics to all Americans, and I have the deal standing ready to do it, you will never get the money. Because that could actually work. And if it does, it transforms the whole industry. Maybe you think that's a good thing because you can make 34,000%, but the VCs don't like it at all. And so we have to learn that this is the dark, dark secret of pioneer capital, that the venture capitalist, the only asset class that officially is designated to do that, is not funding innovation. In fact, they put a systemic stop to all true innovation. That's your red pill of the day. And maybe you think I'm a little conspiratorial, but believe me, I am there at the frontier of that stuff. I have talked to hundreds of VCs about these things. I know exactly what's going on, and it's not good. So what is the silver lining here? The silver lining is that in the venture capital industry and outside the venture capital industry too, you still have individuals. Not everything is a money management bureaucracy, even though 99% is. You have individual VCs who used to be entrepreneurs, who know the problem. You have individual entrepreneurs and pioneers who are not VCs, who are just sitting somewhere with a lot of money. So you have people who understand what I just said. They agree with it. Funnily enough, I even had VCs who told me, Joe, between you and me, together, our investment committee always makes the worst decisions. If we could just invest alone, it would be much better. They're all thinking that secretly. So there are people out there who understand it. So before we go into what that means, let's also make clear what that problem leads to. It leads to a world where potential, especially nowadays, is completely abundant. Potential in the form of great entrepreneurs, great technology, great ideas, even some master plans. But capital is incredibly scarce. Incredibly scarce. It's nearly impossible to raise capital for anything that's big and important. Let that sink in. Anything that is big and important, the better it's planned out, the exponentially harder it is to actually raise capital for it, because there's a systemic stop to this. And you can test money managers, how bad they are. If they say, no, that's wrong, the world is actually the reverse, the opposite from what you say. Capital is never scarce. There's unlimited capital. The opportunities are very limited. It's like everyone knows that's completely off. And when people say that, they're captive. So we can find amazing reality engineers. We can find amazing, technologies and potential. But if they're really ready to impact the world and transform healthcare, for example, they will not get funded. It's very bad. Now, the solution is something that I call pioneer capital, as you know. So we should not conflate venture capital with pioneer capital. Venture capital, systemically stopping innovation. Pioneer capital would seek out the pioneers and give them capital. But here's the secret of pioneer capital. True pioneer capital needs pioneers who have capital, not venture capital funds. And you see that with Tesla. Who was the guy who actually did all and led all the funding rounds? It was Elon Musk. He was the investor into Tesla. He made it happen. He funded it. And true pioneer capital that is controlled by pioneers, not money managers and committees, but true pioneers who are truly invested personally into building the future and see it actually happening, who love disruption, innovation, who love hyper growth. These are the people we need, not the ones that hate it, that hate disruption, and are getting paid for stopping disruption. We need to get out of there. We need to get on the other side. We need to find the true pioneers, the true pioneer capitalists who have big chunks of money and who want to see the world change, who want to actually end death, even if it ends a bunch of existing profit streams. So the entire VC model is totally fake news. It's totally gaslighting. It's anti-venture capital. That's what it is. And it will not fund the future. And the good news is that we have hidden in the venture capital industry some, maybe even many, individual entrepreneurs who are true pioneers at heart, who might even work at a venture capital fund, but they can't act on it in the fund. So what I'm saying resonates with a ton of people. They know the truth. They just need a way out, and they need to understand how do we restructure this whole thing? How can we actually start investing in innovation? And the LP model is not the solution, because if you have an LPs, you become a money manager and you have a big problem. And you can actually see, by looking at a ton of disruptive companies, Tesla, SpaceX, OpenAI, funded by Elon too, nuclear fusion companies funded by, Sam Altman and some other people. It's always individual pioneers funding these flying cars, same thing. Full body MRI screenings, all funded by individuals. Everything that's truly disruptive gets only funded by individuals. The problem is that pioneers, with pioneers, I mean successful entrepreneurs in tech, in finance, in real estate, in entertainment, right? There are many people who have a lot of money because they did amazing things in their lives and pioneered and changed the world. They are not aware that they have this calling, that they have a civilizational duty and immense potential to constitute this new asset class. For them, it's more random. They're sitting there, they're buying a yacht, they're enjoying life like Jeff Bezos, or they're creating a foundation like Bill Gates, or they're funding their own startups. But they're not really aware that the entire world and universe looks towards them and becomes dependent on their actions to fund disruptive master plans. And if they would become aware, my bet is it would be the greatest transformation of our civilization. If the pioneers become aware that they have to fund innovation, if they become aware that the venture capital system is inherently gaslighting all of us to the extent that we die because of it, because we can't end death. If the pioneers became aware that they have this civilizational duty, but also this tremendous potential to step up and fund the most disruptive innovations, that this is actually a thing, maybe pool their capital, create their own funds without LPs, only with them. I think it would be the greatest transformation we will have ever seen in history. We have to make pioneer capital a cultural institution, in the sense that it becomes the default of successful pioneering, amazing pioneers, right? That made a lot of money, to actually think and engage with communities that want to see something big happen. The pioneers can hold them also accountable, like the master plans need to be good, they need to be solid, they need to be robust. But once we have one, we can't hesitate forever. We need to start taking action. And we also have to understand that every pioneer who puts in any kind of lead investment into any master plan gets hugely leveraged. We see it with Elon. Elon put it in, and then all the other VCs can follow. They can follow, but they can't lead. So that's my take on the dark secret and on the solution. And I want to end this video with an appeal to you guys, to you, the Tesla community, because I know most of you are, Tesla community members who are even very active on YouTube and beyond, and as shareholders, as owners. I truly believe that the community might be the most important of these three key levers. You need the master plan, sure. You need the pioneer capital, but how do you actually take action on anything visionary? You need a community. And what we need to try is we need to build a community for the Tesla of health. We need to start working on not dying now that we know how. And I think, together we could achieve amazing things. I don't know if you're up for it, but I'm just throwing this out there. I can tell you, I can guarantee you, we could change the world forever if we can rally up a community on this. And you as Tesla community, you have proven, or not you, I'm also part of that. I'm a big Tesla fan and shareholder. So at Tesla, we as a community have proven the power of a master plan in the community. We can change the world in a very big way. In a very big way. And here's my experiment. We have to fight for something. Why not fight for our lives? For actually ending death. And we only need to do two things. We know what we have to be. We know the master plan and we know pioneer capital. We should find the best entrepreneurs in this country, the most successful people that are cool people that actually say they want to do something about the future. And we should build our own community around the master plan to end death. That means engage with the master plan, engage with me, engage with YouTube and comments down here, engage on X with me, ask questions, add knowledge, add ideas, be critical. I like this story about Elon and the what's his name, everyday astronaut YouTuber, super cool dude. And Elon, when they stand in front of the rocket and they start discussing stuff, and then the everyday astronaut asks Elon, okay, do you also do this whole, hot gas thruster mechanic for the spaceship? And then Elon is like, no, we don't. It's like, oh, wait, let me think a moment. And then he was like, that's actually a good idea. We're kind of dumb not doing that. So it was like live on YouTube that Elon completely followed the lead of the everyday astronaut and took over this whole thing and actually implemented it in the Starship, which just, to my point here, means everyone needs input from everyone. We should be open source this whole thing. If you have a great idea, if you're a doctor, if you're a technologist, or if you're just a smart cookie, and you say, wait, Joe, that makes no sense. I think we should also do ABC in the master plan or add this to a technology component. Sure, just tell us. So we want engagement on YouTube and X. Add your knowledge and ideas. Share these videos with other people and see. Anyone who's interested in not dying, anyone who's interested in the future of health, everyone who's frustrated with healthcare and the lack of innovation and, the medical system. We can disrupt it now. We have a master plan. We can do something, but we need you guys to get engaged. And I think it's worth it. It's worth our lives. And let's grow this channel. Grow it to 10,000 subscribers. Grow it to 100,000 subscribers. If we do this, we cannot be stopped. That's simple. And the action number 2, right? What we should do is straight on X, we should discuss who are these pioneers that we like. Look at the founder of Stripe, the founder of Airbnb, right? The founder of Dropbox. All these cool entrepreneurs. They're super smart cookies. They changed the world. They're sitting on a pile of cash. They want to do investments. And they're for sure interested in the future of health. We should just ping them on X. Just say, I think, add the name is a candidate for hashtag Pioneer Capital at Joe Bhakti. Just send this. If he gets 10 of these things, he's going to be like, oh, what's going on here? Maybe I should figure out what Pioneer Capital is. Just ping them on X and add me. And what we want is we are not going there and say like, oh, give us money or something. No, we say like, let's take a step back. Let's engage in a discussion. Let's look at the master plan. What is your take on this? Pioneer. What is your take? Do you think that's stupid? Do you think it's smart? Do you think it should be done? And I tell you, they're smart cookies. They will understand, yeah, it totally makes sense. We should actually do something. And then we can discuss what that is, right? So we just have to make this a thing and get the conversation going. We have the plan. We know where the capital is. And now the all decisive question is, can we build the community? Can we build the community, the fellowship of the master plan to end death? And it starts with you and me. Let's see where this is going. And I hope I can inspire some people. I hope I can inspire you, and I hope you take some action. Please, we need it. This is literally ending death. And if we do that, I think there's nothing that can stop us from transforming healthcare and medicine in a way that we can't even imagine today. If we can't get this community together, we will be here in 50 years with the exact same problems we have today because no one else is going to solve this problem. But if we can build that community, even to 10,000 subscribers or something like that, we're going to change history, the history of medicine, forever. I can guarantee you that. So see you around, subscribe, and let's make this happen.